Imagine a bustling city, thriving nearly 5,000 years ago. Streets laid out in a perfect grid, a sophisticated drainage system that rivals modern engineering, and grand public baths. This wasn't Rome or Athens. This was Mohenjo-Daro, a crown jewel of the Indus Valley Civilization. For centuries, it flourished as one of the world's earliest major urban centers. But then, in a historical blink of an eye, it vanished. The people, the culture, the lifeblood of the city all gone. The story of Mohenjo-Daro isn't just about its rise. It's about its mysterious and sudden fall, a puzzle that has baffled archaeologists and historians for a century. What could cause such a sophisticated society to simply disappear? Today, we're diving deep into the enigmatic collapse of Mohenjo-Daro. Let's set the scene. Around 2500 BCE, while the pyramids were rising in Egypt, Mohenjo-Daro was a metropolis of incredible complexity. Located in modern-day Pakistan, it was a hub of trade and culture. Archaeologists have unearthed intricate seals, beautiful pottery, and standardized weights and measures, all pointing to a highly organized and prosperous society. Unlike other ancient civilizations, we've found no grand palaces for kings or elaborate temples for gods. Instead, the city's structure suggests an egalitarian society focused on public works and communal living. The Great Bath, a massive waterproof pool, likely served a public or ritual purpose. Their homes, built with baked bricks, often had private wells and bathrooms. This was urban planning at its finest, a testament to a people far ahead of their time. They had a system of writing, a script we still can't decipher, holding their secrets just out of our reach. For nearly 1,000 years, this was the reality. And then, silence. When archaeologists first uncovered the ruins in the 1920s, they found a city frozen in time, but with a disturbing final chapter. Skeletons were discovered not in organized graves, but sprawled in the streets, in houses, as if they were caught in a sudden, catastrophic event. This led to the first major theory, a violent invasion. Early excavators, like Sir Mortimer Wheeler, pointed to these scattered remains as evidence of a massacre. He proposed that nomadic, chariot-riding warriors, possibly the Aryans mentioned in ancient Vedic texts, swept down from the north and conquered the peaceful Indus people. The idea of a dramatic, bloody end captured the public imagination. It was a simple, compelling story, a mighty civilization brought to its knees by foreign invaders. For a long time, this was the accepted explanation. But as more evidence came to light, this theory started to crumble. Upon closer examination, the massacre evidence just didn't hold up. The number of skeletons found was very small, only a few dozen in a city that likely housed tens of thousands. Furthermore, many of the remains showed signs of burial, not a sudden, violent death. There were no layers of ash from a citywide fire, no weapon caches, no signs of a final, desperate battle. The narrative of a brutal invasion began to look less like history and more like a dramatic interpretation. So, if it wasn't a conquering army, what was it? Scholars turned their attention to the environment, and a new, more complex picture began to emerge. The Indus Valley Civilization was built around a life-giving river, the mighty Indus. Their agriculture, their trade, their very existence depended on its predictable, nourishing floods. But what if the river turned against them? This brings us to the climate change theory, which is now one of the most widely accepted explanations. Evidence from sediment core, lake beds, and ancient pollen tells a story of a dramatic shift in weather patterns around 1900 BCE. The monsoons, which had reliably watered the plains for centuries, began to weaken and become erratic. For a society built on agriculture, this would have been devastating. Less rain meant failing crops, leading to widespread famine. The Great Indus River itself may have changed its course, or its flow may have been disrupted by tectonic activity. Geological surveys show that the region is seismically active. A massive earthquake could have altered the landscape, rerouted rivers, and disrupted the delicate irrigation systems that the Indus people relied on. Imagine the heart of your civilization, the source of your food and wealth, slowly drying up or shifting away. The city's granaries, once overflowing, would have emptied, trade would have ground to a halt. The social fabric of Mohenjo-Daro would have started to unravel. The archaeological record seems to support this slow decline. In the later layers of the city, the quality of construction diminishes. The once grand houses were subdivided into smaller, cruder dwellings. Pottery became less refined. The strict grid plan of the streets was encroached upon by makeshift buildings. It's a picture of a society under immense stress, a city in decay. People weren't wiped out in a single event. They likely began to leave. They would have migrated in smaller groups, heading east towards the more fertile Ganges plain, where the rains were still reliable. They were not conquered. They were climate refugees, a concept we understand all too well today. Mohenjo-Daro wasn't destroyed in a blaze of glory. It was slowly abandoned, left to the wind and the sand as its people sought survival elsewhere. Another compelling piece of this puzzle is the possibility of disease. A large, densely populated city with a complex water system is a perfect breeding ground for epidemics. Poor sanitation, which seems to have declined in the city's final years, could have led to waterborne diseases like cholera. A devastating plague could have swept through the population, weakening it and contributing to the social collapse. It's likely that the fall of Mohenjo-Daro wasn't caused by a single factor, but a perfect storm of them. Imagine this: a changing climate leads to crop failures. Tectonic shifts alter the river, disrupting water supplies. Malnutrition weakens the population, making them more susceptible to a wave of infectious disease. Faced with these insurmountable challenges, the orderly, sophisticated society of Mohenjo-Daro simply couldn't hold. The people abandoned their great city, not because of an enemy at the gates, but because the very foundation of their world was crumbling beneath their feet. So what became of the people of the Indus Valley? They didn't just vanish from the face of the earth. Their legacy lived on. As they migrated and mixed with other local populations, their culture, technology, and possibly even their language were absorbed and transformed. Some scholars believe that aspects of Indus Valley beliefs can be seen in later Hinduism. The focus on ritual bathing, the depiction of certain animal and tree motifs, these could be echoes of a civilization that was lost, but not entirely forgotten. Their knowledge of urban planning, of water management, of trade, these skills would have been carried with them, planting the seeds for future societies in new lands. The story of Mohenjo-Daro's end is not just one of collapse, but also one of adaptation and resilience. Today, the silent ruins of Mohenjo-Daro stand as a powerful reminder of the fragility of civilization. It shows us that even the most advanced societies are vulnerable to the forces of nature. The story of its fall, driven by climate change and environmental collapse, resonates deeply with the challenges we face in the 21st century. It's a 5,000-year-old cautionary tale written in brick and dust. The script remains undeciphered. The full story may never be known, but the stones of Mohenjo-Daro speak volumes. They tell of a brilliant society that rose from the dust, and a profound mystery of how it returned to it. The enigma of Mohenjo-Daro is a puzzle that continues to inspire and haunt us, a ghost city that holds secrets we are still trying to unlock. What do you think happened to this incredible city? Was it invasion, climate, disease, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the past. See you next time.